There's a beer for you back there.
You're listening to the Podcast Detroit Network. Visit www.podcastdetroit.com for more information.
Break the ring down.
Well, that didn't work. I gotta fix it. I'll figure it out, ladies and gentlemen. M4A files do not play in Sam Broadcasting. However, you know what does play? Us. And we are playing this week as we talk about the Stomping Grounds recap. We're going to discuss Raw and SmackDown, their ratings, and how people felt about the shows. Plus, Fyter Fest is the final pay-per-view of June that we will use to predict the brand new, or will we keep the current, Ring Crew champion. We're going to get into all that and more this week as we
break the ring down.
Damn it. Woo!
You don't know what hard times are, Daddy.
The cream will rise to the top. Oh, yeah.
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass. You just made the list!
This right here is a fan rating.
Hey, this is professional wrestler and professional podcaster Colt Boom Boom Cabana.
My name is Killer Cross.
This is The Smoke Show, Scarlett Bordeaux.
What's up, guys? The Machine, Brian Cage.
This is Ryan from Pro Wrestling Tees.
Sadly, you are not listening to The Art of Wrestling, but you made a decent choice because you're listening.
You are now listening to...
And you're listening to
Breaking Down the Ring.
Breaking Down the Ring.
Breaking Down the Ring.
Breaking Down the Ring.
Breaking Down the Ring. Bring it down.
Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
Ladies and gentlemen, this episode of Breaking Down the Ring is being brought to you by Charlotte Legal Group Estate Planning. Estate planning is for everyone, whether you are worth $4,000 or $40 million. Estate planning can help protect you and your family and your assets while you're still alive. You don't need to worry about setting up a will and everything like that. You got an estate plan, which a will be part of. No one has to fight or anything like that. So if you're in the Southeast Michigan area or even the west side of Michigan, you want to make a nice little travel to save your stuff. Everything, your stuff. You can register for an upcoming workshop today at chawlalegal.com/workshops, or you can call 586-273-7157. Again, that's Chawla Legal, CHAWLALEGAL.com/workshops, or call 586-273-7157. Now hurry up, man. They do 2 workshops a month, but they only talk to 6 people. They have 6 people in each workshop. Why? That is so it can be more one-on-one, and so you can have any of your honest, worthy questions answered. Look, period. You have questions you're going to want to know, and it's better not to have a whole bunch of other people that you have to sit behind for you to have personalized recommendations. So again, chawlalegal.com/workshops, or call 586-273-7157. That being said, you're listening to the most inappropriate pro wrestling show in the motherfucking world. You're listening to Breaking Down the Ring. We are your ring crew.
Joe.
Nick Lachey.
Smitty with a Smitty meets.
Nick Lachey? Jesus.
And me, oh, Mikey one, Mikey himself. Yeah, I saw that earlier on Twitter. I was like, who the fuck is Nick Lachey? Oh.
Nick what?
Nick. No.
You got to make sure you add the Shay on there for
right, I get it. You watch the BET Awards. You're a little hyped up right now because Billy Ray Cyrus is really over, and you're like, this goddamn mullet wearing some bitch.
Nah, I just like a hippie.
Same thing. Nick, I would like to point out that you made an amazing post for our show today. When you posted that we Randy Macho Man is just Rob Zombie is a hot topic version of Macho Man. I was crying laughing.
That shit was hilarious. I saw that and I was like, oh my God, Instapost.
That is going up. It's going to be the best. I fucking love it. That being said, man, what the fuck is up, everybody? How you guys doing today?
Hey.
Oh, yeah? Smitty, how you doing?
Trying to find Jesus.
I don't know.
luck.
I think he cut my lawn earlier this week.
Yeah, fix my mom's car.
That's crazy. Fixing cars and mowing lawns? What a nice guy that Jesus is.
Sounds Mexican.
In the lazy. Nick, how you doing today, sir?
I'm alive and I'm here.
Your birthday was over the weekend, man.
Sure was.
Did you have a fucking blast with that?
I sure did. Went places, seen some things, touched some people.
Whoa.
You know.
How many people did you touch?
65, 72, something like that.
Let's
give a good
lot of
junior
people.
numbers.
Yeah.
You need to get a Bill Cosby.
Most of them liked it. Some of them, not so much.
It was like a 60-40 split.
Yeah.
Z, I like how you saved this, shared this. Wow.
Shaving
are hard,
It's so bad. My sleeves grew back this week. That's fucking phenomenal. Because Dinesh, our lovely sponsor Dinesh, was giving Z so much shit about coming in last week just sleeveless. It's like ridiculous. Like to the point where he was just like, even on things that had nothing to do with the podcast, he just made a comment and tagged me. And I'm like, that's fucking funny. So I'm very happy that your sleeves are back as well, man, because, fuck, dude. Ridiculous. Z, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm well. I have sleeves, so all's right.
That's really all that fucking matters. All right, man, we got a whole fuck ton of shit to get into. Stomping Grounds was over the weekend. Raw and SmackDown followed it up. There was Twitter beef out the ass this week. We're mainly just going to get into the WWE superstar and New Japan superstar. And then a little bit of AEW versus fucking Evolve. We're going to get into that, which was fucking crazy too, especially the tweet that was sent out by one of the executive fucking vice presidents of AEW. And then, of course, Fyter Fest is coming up this Saturday in fucking AEW. It's their second show, which is awesome because it's their second show, but they're providing it free for everyone. If you have a Bleacher Report Live, you can go on Bleacher Report Live and you can get yourself you can watch it free. Just sign up. This one and Fight for the Fallen, their next pay-per-view in July 14th. Yeah. So you can watch that for free. So that's pretty cool, man. Their next two shows they are offering for free so you can become acclimated with who their talent is, people that are going to be on the show, things like that. Listen to people like Jim Ross, call matches. Alvarez, it's not Alvarez. It's Alex Marvez. He's not going to be a part. He's not going to be a part of Fyter Fest, so you don't have to worry about listening to him.
Sweet.
That's great.
But we're going to get into all of those matches and more. But first, let us talk Stomping Grounds. We, of course, watch Stomping Grounds at Buffalo Wild Wings. Knockouts and Three Counts podcast co-hosted the event every Sunday WWE pay-per-view. We'll be watching at Buffalo Wild Wings in downtown Detroit. Up next, Extreme Rules is going to be happening, and we're going to be watching that. We'll be there, of course. Knockouts and Three Counts are going to be there, so we'll be watching that. You guys, if you're in the Southeast Michigan area, man, come on down. Sundays is free parking in downtown Detroit. There's no cover charge for you to get in to the event. All we ask is that you purchase some food, purchase some drink, and tip your server, tip your bartender, whoever you're talking to. It's really all we're hoping for out of everyone for showing up. Again, Extreme Rules next pay-per-view, downtown Detroit, Buffalo Wild Wings. Be there or be at home all alone with no friends.
Boom, 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 boom.
Boom. So, that being said, Stomping Grounds was a good show. It was a show that a lot of us did not expect much of. Look, we'll be very honest. Most of us were shitting on it all last week. Smitty loves to shit on anything WWE.
He likes to shit on anything.
Right, really.
He's like a shitter.
Especially chest.
Yeah, he's a bird. I'm just gonna call Smitty the pigeon.
Yep.
He's a smidgen.
He's a shitter.
Fucking smidgen over here. Shitting all over it. And then it turned out to be a really good show. I mean, I was very open and honest. Like the Cruiserweight match was really good. Becky Lynch versus Lacey Evans was good. Owens and Zayn versus New Day was a good match. Ricochet versus Samoa Joe surprised a lot of people. The finish surprised a lot of people. Also, really good match. Daniel Bryan and Rowan versus Heavy Machinery. Fuck, man. Heavy Machinery got over heavy.
Yeah.
Big in that match.
No pun intended.
Sure that, Daniel Bryan and Rowan won the match, but no slouches were Heavy Machinery in that match. Bayley versus Alexa Bliss, another really good women's match. And I love the fact that they're showcasing some of the top talent in women in some top tier matches and the wrestling at a top tier in it. Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre with Shane McMahon, also a good match. I'm not saying it was spectacular, not saying it was 72 fucking stars, but it didn't suck the fucking fun out of the pay-per-view. What did suck the fucking fun out of the pay-per-view was Kofi Kingston versus Dolph Ziggler until the end of that match, which is the only thing that anybody fucking popped for. It was really boring, and then they fucking made up for that with their 2 out of 3 falls match on SmackDown. But then Seth Rollins versus Baron Corbin. Fucking Lacey Evans coming out as the special guest referee. Oh, beautiful story writing as far as I'm concerned by WWE. A lot of people fucking hated that. But we'll go into that. Gulak becoming the brand new Cruiserweight champion, pinning Akira Tozawa. Did anyone else watch the pre-show besides myself, Smitty?
No, I was working.
You didn't even watch it within the last couple of days.
I didn't watch the pre-show. I just kind of watched the main show. I didn't even bother going back to
I fast forward until I got to that match.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'll talk about. So how did you feel about this match, the Cruiserweights?
I haven't been paying attention to the Cruiserweights a lot. I do like what they're doing with Drew Gulak's character. Like, he seems more like a normal dude that's out for fucking himself, that's not giving a fuck. And I was surprised to see him win, but it was a pretty solid match.
I'm just happy they moved on from the Donald Trump gimmick.
Yeah, right. I like that character.
Saving 205 Live.
Yeah.
The PowerPoint
Gabba
presentation.
It's a new fly zone.
Open this door.
But I watched 205 Live over the last couple months, and I watched 205 since it actually came out. And Drew Gulak is probably one of the most over guys and one of the most deserving guys for that title for a long time. And just know he has it now. I'm not mad about it. I actually respect 205 Live, especially with the leaps and bounds it's been since they first came out.
I have to be very honest. I picked Gulak to win. And I picked Gulak to win because I really felt he deserved it. He's been one of the most consistent characters on that show. He's been used a lot now in NXT for a couple matches, especially against Kushida. Obviously, he fought Matt Riddle before. He's going to be fighting Matt Riddle again at 131 Evolve. It's Drew Gulak is becoming a destination guy for 205 Live. He's going all around. And I think that he deserves any type of push that he gets. So I felt like it was kind of his time to take that belt, and he sure as fuck did, man. The match only lasted a little over 11 minutes, and it was great. It's what I love so much about 205 Live right now is 205 Live is, since Triple H took it back over, it has become much more what it was for the Cruiserweight Classic. Yep. When there was a lot of great wrestling involved, but it's being heralded with good storylines as well.
The Mike Bennett thing right now.
Yeah, Mike Bennett and Drake Maverick thing going on, which they're all. What's really good about this, 205 Live is also playing into the social media aspect because Bennett and Drake Maverick were going at it on Twitter, which is then brought into the show. It's not like when Lacey and Becky are going at it back and forth on Twitter, and they don't say shit about it. The only time they mentioned the Twitter banter back and forth was when it was Ronda and Becky. That's it. And there's no other mention of any type of banter going on. It's like they were like, oh, that's a good idea. When Miz was going, I'm trying to remember who he was going against, but him and someone else were going back and forth. No. It was not. No, it was Miz and somebody else were going back and forth on social media and video packages.
Was it I know what you're talking about.
And then they started to use that for the tag team, mixed match tag situation where.
Was it Cena?
It wasn't Cena. But they started using those promo styles, and we were like, man, this is great. And then they started throwing all the fucking graphics in it, and we were like, what? Now it's not even a real selfie. Yeah.
Bam.
They're putting in fake selfie sticks and things like that. The Stomping Grounds actual pay-per-view kicked off with Becky Lynch defeating Lacey Evans by submission, and what seemed like it should have closed off that feud. Right there, she tapped out. Good match, good back and forth match. Lacey Evans... There were some botches. Look, man, Lacey Evans is not the best fucking women's wrestler on that roster. But she is garnering reaction. better than anyone when they come out, including Naomi, who has come out and just not gotten much of anything, including Natalya, who recently, those two, just names popping off the top of my head. But I mean, like, any other type of woman when they come out, Alicia Fox is just like, okay, we're watching them. We're not expecting much from them. Lacey was doing the vignettes, and people started getting really annoyed and voicing a lot of displeasure. Then a lot of people were like, oh, it's just the new Charlotte Flair. Well, if that's the case, so is Alexa Bliss, because she's a fucking blonde white girl too.
Right.
Fake tits.
You know, like, let's stop pretending that
Vince doesn't have a type.
WWE's... Look, Vince has a type, but if that was the case, if Lacey was getting over because she was a blonde white girl, Mandy Rose would be in this fucking title picture right now.
Right.
Mandy Rose got that one shot with Asuka. You haven't... Sure, she's on TV, but you haven't seen her in this fucking title picture the way Lacey Evans is. Lacey Evans is in this because she's garnering a reaction more than any other woman that was on that fucking roster. Nick, when you were watching, I'm going to start off with you again because, Nick, you like to be quiet, and I'm not letting you be quiet. Lacey going at it, you know, yanking at Becky's hair while her back's being pulled from the banister. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. How did you feel about this match and obviously Becky going over and things like that?
I like Becky obviously winning the match, and Lacey's, you know, while there are some botches here and there, and she, like you said, she's not the best wrestler in the world, but I think that she's getting better, and I think if she improves, she's going to be definitely one of the top wrestlers on that roster, because the things that she does do well, she really excels. But for now, I was glad to see Becky go over. I'm done with the Lacey feud.
But we're not.
Yeah.
But we're not done with the Lacey feud.
What I mean, just like in that
moment.
Yeah, in that moment.
Got it.
There's a nice end to it.
See, at the same time, I understood where it ended, and I also understood how it picked back up. A lot of people were complaining about it. Why are these people getting another shot when they didn't do anything to deserve it? And you're right, they didn't do anything to deserve it, but it's blame Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Because when they said, okay, you want your stipulation, we're going to throw in a stipulation. And Seth is like, yeah, your stipulations really work out for you. Whatever it is, challenge accepted. Well, then they announced it. So you can't be mad at like when management threw Samoa Joe into the facing Kofi at Extreme Rules, right? It was because Samoa Joe attacked Kofi on Raw, and that was it. He didn't earn anything. He just lost the United States Championship match clean in the middle of the ring, and all of a sudden he's just thrown into it.
Yeah.
Kofi didn't go on social media saying, yeah, I want Samoa Joe. Fuck it, bring Joe. I'll take on Joe. It was just announced by management, you know? So that one doesn't make sense. Dolph Ziggler being put into a match to where he could face for this title again. For what? What did you earn? What did you deserve? Nothing.
It's his third fucking chance.
Right. You know, at least with the Baron and Lacey stuff is they came out to shit talk them after the main event of Stomping Grounds. It made sense for it to keep going because Becky came out thwarting Baron's referee who was supposed to give him this title. You know, so of course he comes out as a fucking bitcher and a whiner and a moaner and a complainer.
Well, and I'm
because
sorry,
that's what his fucking character.
People complained about the Lacey angle and they complained about the Lacey angle in the main event.
Your fiance's very happy you took those off.
Probably.
No, I'm telling you she is.
Oh yeah, she definitely is.
She's already commented.
No, I see that.
It made sense for Lacey to be the, you know, when she came out as a referee, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess, because, you know, they're hinting at their Seth Rollins-Becky relationship, and
that's
I mean,
all this is.
who better than to referee that match than her? You know what I mean?
Well, and at the same time, it's a woman. Seth can't beat the shit out of a woman. I mean, he can.
This was the 90s.
This is anywhere else but WWE.
You know, I mean,
hit her with the chair. Fuck it.
He can, but he probably shouldn't. You know,
if there was any place but WWE, he would have.
Yeah, maybe. Not with like the way he was beaten. You know, not the way
not
heel
with a chair.
Rollins was just walking around. Yeah, maybe, you never know. That being said, Smitty, how did you feel about this match?
I'm in a majority about this whole angle. Should have just.
You're in the what?
I'm in a majority about people. That
You're not the minority.
About people that said this angle should have just ended at Stomping Ground. Bringing Seth and Becky's relationship to keep these two inside of the loop really does make no sense. Like, just move on. There's other people.
How does it make no sense, though?
Makes perfect sense. Actually,
the way the storyline played out makes perfect sense.
Like, give somebody else a shot at this point. You both have just lost twice.
Okay, but Lacey being in the match as the referee, his referee taken out. It makes sense why they're there. The storyline wise, the dots add up. Do I want to see them keep going? No, I would like to, but I can't say it doesn't make sense. I could say it annoys me further, but you can't say it doesn't make sense because
I do
the
like the
storyline
concept of the winning team gets both titles.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter who makes the fall, takes the fall, whatever. Like, if Baron and Lacey win, they get the titles.
Okay.
Which, I mean, is an interesting concept there. As far as the rest of it goes, I don't really care. But at the same time, they're probably just trying to draw something out until SummerSlam for Seth. Like, this Baron Corbin, Lacey Evans thing just seems like filler at this point. Like,
that's not the word we use around here.
Whatever. It's like fodder.
I don't have a beer.
I don't either.
Where?
Red Solo Cup.
Your Red Solo Cup.
Yeah, but it just seems like
I'm sorry, what'd you say it was again?
Yeah, it was fodder.
Hey, drink everybody.
But just to get him through Extreme Rules, and then he'll have a new feud going into.
So, Smitty, who do you want? Who do you think would be better fodder? Drink everybody.
Fuck. So at this point, okay, Joe just lost the United States title. Like, have Joe, like, I get Joe being pissed and attacking Kofi. Like, if you, like, move on. Like, you lost your title, move on to your next feud. So that's why.
So you think he should go against Seth?
I think Joe would have been better off going against Seth at this point than Kofi, because at least it keeps the whole Raw title on, like, Raw feud on Raw.
Do you think Joe has a better shot of winning the WWE title or the Universal title? Which one do you believe him to be able to win more, the one off of Kofi or the one off of Seth?
Honestly, probably I say the one off of Seth more so because Seth is still looking over his back for Brock.
So okay, Nick, who do you if you put Joe up against Seth and Joe up against Kofi, who do you think he's most likely to win against?
Kofi.
Z, same question.
Kofi.
Okay, so Smitty, I'm gonna tell you this right now. You can argue all you want. The majority of people, okay, will think that Joe has a better chance of beating Kofi than he does Seth. So therefore, putting Joe up against Kofi is the better decision because it creates more probability. So when people are going into a pay-per-view, they're not going into it going, well, Seth's just going to win anyway, so why do I have to give a shit about this match? So, taking away Joe, because Joe's now going for Kofi, give me someone else who you think could go, because right now, are you saying that there's no fucking way possible Seth and Becky lose this match?
No, not really.
No, you're not saying that?
I said there's no way they lose it.
At all?
I disagree.
Okay. Why do you disagree, Z?
Just because of the way it's set up. Like, I can suspend my disbelief and be like, well, with Corbin and Lacey as a team, because Seth doesn't necessarily need to lose the title.
Right.
And then you can have the follow-up match at your next Saudi Arabia show or wherever the fuck it is. There's 17 pay-per-views now. But, and then going into SummerSlam, Brock can take the title back.
Nick, were your thinking, is there any chance that Seth and Becky lose? And if so, what percentage?
I think there's a small chance. I would say maybe 20%, only because, like Z said, I mean, it's an interesting take. I mean, Becky could get pinned by Lacey and fucking Seth loses the title. You know, that's something we haven't seen. Mm-hmm. So I think the fact that they could raise the stakes and make you think that it could happen, it's pretty interesting.
And Smitty, you're at 0% chance of them losing?
No, I feel like this is just a finished fodder, literally.
Drink.
You know, their water bottle, God.
Okay, so who else do you think would make sense to put in a storyline match to take Seth Rollins on at Extreme Rules?
You got a 4-week build-up. So,
do you? I think you got a 3-week build-up.
Oh, yeah, 3-week build-up now, yeah.
Smitty's got 3 years build-up.
No, he met Marcus the other day.
Oh.
That's his fodder. Drink.
Speaking of which, I drove past Marv's Meats today. Clear competitor for Smitty's Meats.
You got a drink, Smitty. You said fodder.
Yeah, buy one, get two right now.
And I said it again. God damn it. But the first one was, making Smitty Marcus's. So that's the second time Smitty swallowed because of Marcus.
That'd be probably my assholes. So the first thing is, like, I had a feel like knowing that this whole June Pride Month thing, I expected all these jokes.
He's even talking like he's cupping balls. He's like,
mind the stepchildren.
Yeah,
All right, so
I
give me a
speak with my
storyline
hands.
that makes sense. And remember, Smitty, I'm asking you for this, and it's got to make sense.
oh, God.
I know, but I want you to think who you would put in this position to lose, because I also believe that Seth and Becky are going over, okay? So I'm not arguing that. Seth and Becky going over against Baron and Lacey when they win means they don't have another shot at their titles. That was part of it. Becky said that. If you want to face us, that's fine. But when you lose, you get no more shots at us.
Which
And
again
then-
makes me think they might win.
And then, again, stating that they made the provision for having the titles then for that stipulation to be in there. So I need someone to face him and Becky now, to be very honest. I need Seth and Becky taken on in something that's not a throwaway match that makes you at least somewhat care.
Is that say for Becky, like, knock them together? So Becky, you can always start her back with Charlotte. That's always the thing you can.
You're
do.
not sick of her in Charlotte? That's a SmackDown superstar coming up against on Raw now. We're already annoyed that Joe is going against this, Kofi. And we were already annoyed that Bliss took on Bailey.
Why are we
She's doing
annoyed
it
that
again?
Joe? and
Joe's a
Kofi-
Raw guy going against like that, and
Bliss
that's the problem.
brought
Like
in
they're,
Bayley again too. So.
Do they still have brands? Like they're still.
yeah, I
It's
mean,
so-
you
but
couldn't
PS
guess if
wild
you
card.
wanted to.
Wild card.
It's like when they did the Super Show for a year, and then they're like, "Yeah, guys, it's just we're on both brands now." So dumb.
So okay, so you're saying you want Charlotte again against Becky?
I can always see Charlotte, like, and if you want to pull, like, if you really try to get these guys, like last week you said, use Shane McMahon to use these guys more television time, throw Elias in there. You let Shane pull a power move like he's been doing the whole time.
Like that. That's
Shane's been pulling this power move with Drew McIntyre.
I like
on his
Elias.
range.
You're right. That's a good
we
call.
We can throw Elias with
Now
with Seth.
but why would Shane have something against Seth?
Shane's been on a power trip this whole thing since his whole best in the world crap.
That's fine, but Seth would have to do something to get on Shane's bad side.
No, because you had Seth beat the hell out of Elias with the chair. That's all really the.
There you go.
storyline
That where you worked it in for him. Okay, so Seth versus Elias. I would now Elias just gets okay because of Shane.
I mean,
I'm not
quite
gonna argue. I'm not
honestly,
gonna argue
with
I-
that chair angle. You could put Seth with a lot of people at
Right.
that point.
Okay, so now Becky.
Is it like, even though I would like you're right, we are tired of seeing it. Like Becky with Charlie is always a good one. Go let.
But
so-
how does
so-
it
so
make
wait,
storyline
let me
sense?
finish. Or like go ahead and just put Becky back with Bailey for that SmackDown winner take all. If you want to do some type of winner take all thing.
So okay, so for Bliss,
Because Becky's already saying I'm coming back for that belt after those two were teaming up a couple weeks back.
so you're saying that Becky versus Bailey
I can see that.
to put the double titles in someone again?
Yeah, because like honestly, would you mind seeing either one of those two women with both titles?
But why wouldn't you save that match for SummerSlam and just use fodder at Extreme Rules?
Because I actually wait until
Drink.
if somebody actually had the belts before SummerSlam, you could actually build somebody as a dual champion. Becky barely had time to be a dual champion before
That's
she
because
lost.
they gotta feature both brands, and if you have her with both belts, it doesn't really do that.
So you have one person one person from SmackDown go for both a title in July, and somebody else go for them both in August, and just go on from there. She defends one title at a time, or two, or both.
Well, then
depending on what she wants to do.
why not just make it one title at that point instead of doing the switch off?
Because brand like this whole, it's still
You're
technically
trailing
a
off,
brand
by the
split.
way.
No, it's still
Just
technically a
want you to
brand
know
split.
that.
Hey, you keep asking the questions.
Yeah, but that's the whole point of it. Is we're saying it has to make sense. So these questions are asking for things to make sense. Currently, to have a double champion again, it doesn't make any
Yes,
sense.
it does with the wild card rule. Yes, it does.
No,
for
it doesn't.
Sure.
It doesn't when you're trying to when you're wanting more people featured, which is a complaint you and a lot of people have, including us. If you're trying to have more people featured, putting both belts on one person, one, it kills Bayley's run for Becky to win that. Two, it would actually hurt Becky to lose to Bayley after going through all of the stuff that she has gone through. Right? So now Bayley's the double champion. So technically you putting in that situation hurts both of those women with a loss. So that's why we're saying it has to make sense. So the Becky situation, something has to happen. Now, I'll help you with this. Because it's what I do. And it's based off of your beginning.
Mind the stepchildren.
Yep. Becky versus Bayley with Bliss and Nikki Cross in there. Fatal 4-way, 2 pins. First, no, 2 pins. 2 pins. First pin wins the SmackDown Women's Championship. Second pin wins the Raw Women's Championship. Someone has the potential to become double, but at the same time, you keep this belt single. I could see even Nikki possibly taking both of those falls, or Bliss taking one of those falls, and Nikki taking the other, or Bayley taking the other. Then there's, because if Bayley pins Nikki, and the first fall, then she's still SmackDown champion. If then Becky pins Bayley, you're right, that could set something up for the future for a double championship run. But that's the only thing that I could think of to keep away. However, what you're doing in that situation,
one SmackDown woman gets 3 Raw women.
Has Nikki been given a fucking show?
Yeah, she's on Raw.
She's designated as Raw?
Yeah.
I seriously don't know who's on what show anymore.
I really don't either.
She thought I said Siri.
Because you did. You did.
Say Nikki and Bliss are both on Raw.
All right.
She's been designated to Raw.
To EC3, everybody.
The 24/7 champ for like 7 seconds.
It was great. That was great. Okay, moving on. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn defeating the New Day. Kevin Owens getting the pin on Xavier Woods. Another 11-minute match. Z, how did you feel about this one? Whoa. You mad, dog?
No, my phone died. What was the question? Sorry.
I have a charger on the wall over there.
KO and Sammy v. New Day.
Oh, I didn't
match.
see it. Didn't see it.
I thought that's when you showed up.
I showed up right after that. I showed up for Joe Ricochet.
Okay, well, Smitty, we'll kick off with you. The Black Men lost.
So I was kind of surprised, only because just over the last 2 weeks, including this week, whenever Sami Zayn is inside of a multiple man match, we didn't even say that, over the last month or so, when it's a multiple man match, Sami takes the fall.
Okay, so why are you surprised then that they finally, after coming back and both of them losing over and over again, that Kevin and Sami went over?
I think it was more so because I knew come back when they go back to a regular scheduled programming, Sammy's probably taking the next fall, which exactly is what happened over the next 2 days.
But again, what I'm saying is, you said you were surprised by this match. So why would you not think that they would finally put them over in a winning situation?
Because I figured this was going to be a one-off match no matter what it was going to be, for the most, a one-off type deal.
All right, Nick, when you were watching this match, is there anything that stood out to you? We also got some serious flack for this on the scorecard, and we'll go into that in a minute.
I don't know, not really. I think the biggest thing that pissed me off was the fact that I put fucking Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn winning the match, and then when I was here, I decided, whoa, I'm going to listen to these guys, and they all fucking think blah, 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 blah. And
they didn't all think I got that shit right.
Right. But, I took everybody's opinion into account, and I crossed off them, and I put the New Day. But, it was a good, solid match. I definitely agree with Kevin and Sami going over because, again, like you said, Sammy's been taking the fall a lot. You know what I mean? Especially in those tag matches. And I kind of thought the New Day would win to a point because I figured that Kofi would win, so it would be a New Day kind of night.
It is Big E's first match back.
Right.
So,
But
No, it's not. It's his first like match we actually.
His first pay-per-view match.
Pay-per-view match.
yeah.
What stood out to me is it was the first time in a very long time that New Day were the underdog in a match. They've always been the people having fun at the other person's expense, whether they were face or the heelish whatever tag team, because again they've taken on Usos and Usos were getting more pops, and at the same time Usos have been getting more boos. But it was the first time, even in that fucking Hell in a Cell match that we watched,
We were there for it.
that we were there for in Detroit. The New Day were strong outside of like one aspect of it when Xavier was taking all the fucking hits and being hung up in the ropes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But for the most part, the New Day have always been the
Fan favorites.
not the fan favorites, the normal favorites in a match, playing that they're possibly going to win, and then someone comes back and they lose. This time they were just beaten basically the whole match, And the reason I had the Francesca extra in the scorecard was because that's how they do. They're a fun-loving group in the match at the expense of people. And I really thought that Sammy would sneak one out, and that's literally how I thought the whole entire fucking match was going. Because I thought New Day would be riding high in this match, and then Sammy would get a quick win roll-up or something like that, and they would run away as the cowardly heels and stuff like that.
Another thing is like when Kevin won, like this, Kevin's walked out on Sammy over the last couple of weeks too. When the cards are down, like Kevin has walked out on Sammy.
What are you talking about?
He just did that this week.
Yeah,
He
he's
didn't do
never done that before this
yeah.
week. Not since they came back.
No, he didn't. He do it the week before.
No.
I mean, my weeks are mixed up. Thanks to WWE television.
Wouldn't that be on you?
Yeah, it's 100%
Because the fact
on you.
that it's only happened once
No, he
since
did it
they've
on,
combined.
He did it on SmackDown. He did it on Raw this week.
No, they didn't. They did it on, what was it, SmackDown?
Yeah, just SmackDown.
Yeah.
Sorry, dog. Hashtag wrong again. Ugh.
No, 'cause, when
Could
it-
you imagine if we had to drink every time Smitty was wrong? Alcohol fucking poisoning, everybody.
I'd be on dialysis.
Clear. Boom. Next match. Ricochet defeated Samoa Joe 1-2-3 clean in the ring to become the brand new United States champion. And then after that, Ricochet walks into the back, gets a lot of fucking love. Even Otis is going, Ricky! Fucking Triple H gives him a hug, a dab, and then hugs him. Things like that. So, Z, we'll start off with you since you finally saw a match on this fucking card. What were your thoughts about Ricochet going over, besides maybe surprise? Because Joe's the only one that picked Ricochet to win.
I was surprised he went over in his first attempt. Like, I thought eventually. Like, I thought this would lead to eventually him going over. I thought Joe did not have that much of a title reign. I thought Ricochet's, the new kid coming up, so he'll put on a good match, but he'll, just slightly lose or whatever to Joe, or maybe even like a dirty loss. So to watch him go over was really cool. The match from start to finish was amazing. Best match on the card. By far.
Yeah, I'd completely agree with that. And it was it's honestly, it's a little bit unlike WWE to put a guy like Ricochet in a match like that and then have him go over and for a title.
Well, a guy not named Rey Mysterio.
Right. So it's just kind of like, I can't think of another word other than surprised. I was kind of thrilled.
I was
to be
flabbergasted.
honest. Yeah.
Ooh, flabbergasted. That's a good word. Smitty, how did you feel about it?
I was in shock and awe when I saw him go over clean at that point. It was like I figured like they was building momentum for him just for him to take the L, so Joe's title run can actually seem legit. But him going over, I was glad to see it. The young Ricochet go over. And
did you say the young Ricochet?
Yeah, he's only a year older than me.
Okay.
So I'm glad to see what one of the younger, newer guys go over, and I just want to see what they do with this title run now. With his title run, as long as they don't treat him like they treat Finn Balor with the IC, I think I'll be cool with it.
Maybe they'll have him pick a fight with Aleister Black.
I can't even say that they won't because wild card. Daniel Bryan and Rowan defeating Heavy Machinery, Otis and Tucker. Nick, what stood out? We talked how Heavy Machinery got over with this match. Actually, Smitty will lead with you this time. In watching this match, where were you at all hoping that Otis and Tucker would win, even if it was by disqualification, or are you just like, I'm just happy that this was a really good match?
I was happy it was a really good match. I knew they weren't going over by any means. And, I was glad Heavy Machinery got a chance to shine and actually put on have a good outing, a good showing against the champs here. And like,
ooh, careful.
It was one of my favorite matches on this card. It was one of my favorites.
Nick.
Yeah, Heavy Machinery can go. I mean, for some big dudes, especially Otis, I feel like at any moment he could fucking pop. Just straight up.
And he's got so much charisma.
Yeah, and I really enjoy seeing them in the ring. I think that match went a lot longer than I thought it would. I think
it went almost 15 minutes.
Yeah, that worm came at like 11 minutes.
Caterpillar.
Sorry, I can't get away from that. Caterpillar came like 11 minutes or so. I wasn't surprised that Rowan and Daniel won. I thought, like, I picked Machinery to win with a DQ, but I like where they're going. I like what they're doing with the tag team. I kind of have a little bit of hope for the tag team division right now. Not just because of that match, but there's a little bit of hope there.
Why?
Based on some things I saw on Raw, especially with the Revival, and I like what they're doing with them being the tag team champions and what they're doing with Shane, and they're putting not necessarily an entire focus on tag teams in the ring, but they're just putting a focus on them, period. They're not getting lost anywhere. You see them, whether they're in the ring or not.
This is for a week, though.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. I'm trying to be optimistic.
Okay, fair enough. I like the match. It was a good match. I do not like the Caterpillar. I did at first, and it is, I guess it's what Joe would call tickle butt.
Really?
Only because I was watching SmackDown, and I watched him do it, and I'm like, this isn't believable. There is no way dude lays on the ground for 11 minutes while this guy fucking does a fucking worm and then jumps 8 feet in the air to do an out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the time it takes him to do it, it's just not believable.
So the worm in a people's fucking elbow.
Okay. And the people's elbow is different because normally you get laid out with like a spine buster. Like, he'll just find you on the ground and do the Caterpillar, and it takes too long. I felt the same way about the worm. I thought it was great. I marked out for it, but at some point you go, well, the dude should have got up by now. So, yeah, that's my beef with the Caterpillar.
All right. Up next, Bayley retaining against Alexa Bliss with Nikki Cross. Surprised by this one, Z?
No.
Not even like there was it wasn't a like a disqualification finish. I'm talking
nope.
like
I knew Bayley was gonna go over. I knew that it was gonna be because of Nikki, so Alexa didn't look weak. I didn't know, but I had assumed, and that's exactly what happened. But no, I wasn't surprised at all. This match finished and was exactly how I thought it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
They are who we thought they were.
Smitty.
I picked the DQ because I figured like this is all a lead up to Alexa turning to Alexa Nikki Cross feud eventually, and Alexa going over by DQ because Nikki got Cross doing something stupid. But like Z's that was my second thought was exactly what Z just said. Cross got involved at the wrong point and Bayley goes over clean.
Roman going over Drew McIntyre. Smitty, you're saying that it was stupid for anyone to even believe that Roman could lose this match.
Yeah, I told you it's the same. Like it's still the same book, and they've given Roman since they start pushing him, even if he's not on the top of the card. It's still the same booking.
He does have a point.
I'm not arguing it. Just there's.
And it's been that way since Mania. It's been like I get your guys' point. Like you got to make him look strong after coming back from cancer.
Well, he had him beat
vulnerable.
They had him beat Drew at Mania, which okay, that's fine. But then you have Drew lose the return match as well. So What that tells me is you're not building for anything between them. You're just, okay, Roman beat you twice, clean. That's it. That's the end of the feud, as far as I'm concerned. And it does nothing to help Drew and his, Scottish psychopath type persona, and him being the most dangerous person on the roster, and the evil top heel spot. He was going for it, and having him lose to Roman. I mean, not that they won't still give him the spot, but having him lose to Roman kind of, takes all that out of it. Like takes steam out of the push they were giving him, which is dumb.
Do you think in any way, shape, or form before Mania next year that Drew can be redeemed to have a top spot?
Oh, Drew, if it comes down to it, Drew goes over at Mania against Roman. Like that's the payoff to this.
I say yes. You got to take him away from Shane. You got to take him away from Shane and let him do his own thing.
So you're saying that Drew being with Shane is holding Drew back?
I'm not at this point. It gets him, like you say, it gets him the TV time. But at this point, he's a hired muscle. It's kind of like when Batista was with Devon Dudley. Yes, he's a presence there, but what kind of presence is he outside of being the muscle for Devon and taking the L's?
See, I argue that point. And Devin from Knockouts and Three Counts was agreeing with you, but I argue that point because he's not the muscle. The muscle is the person who stands outside the ring, while like when Christian had
Tomko.
Yeah, Tomko. These are people that are, and like you said, Devon with Batista. These are guys that stand outside of the ring. They don't really do much. That's the muscle. These are people who are at least having good matches. And I'm not like even the Mean Street Posse was on the outside for Shane, unless it was a person tag match. Shane for the most part is the one telling people what to do. He's only in the bigger matches. You know what I'm saying? Like when he came out on Raw,
he makes him more like a stooge.
A stooge?
Yeah, because like
a stooge is the same thing.
No, because Pat Patterson and Briscoe got into actual matches.
How often? How often did you see Pat Patterson and Briscoe have a match on the behalf of the fucking corporation? Twice?
So when Shane was feuding with Vince, it was Mean Street Posse versus the Stooges. There was a whole drag match, and that's when
you're considering a drag match a match. Okay,
hey, you talk about how many times were they actually featured inside of a match, though? That was
okay. How many times were they? Okay, you're right. That was a question. How many times were they featured inside of quality matches? And I'm just talking like okay. So Briscoe and Patterson took on Chyna that one time after Chyna became now the 30th person to enter the 99 Royal Rumble, right? So that was one time that there was some like
when they've had like a higher profile match.
Yeah.
They don't. Yeah, I gotta admit they never got a higher profile match, but they have had matches.
Okay, but not into this. So those are stooges. At least Drew McIntyre and Elias are having matches against some top tier talent, right? To the point where, without Shane, Drew McIntyre is not facing the Undertaker.
Yeah.
What do you mean, meh? Am I right or wrong?
No, I'm saying, man, like that's what I'm saying. We never know if you actually take the training wheels off.
Is it because you can't argue it that you're just saying we'll never know now?
No, like it feels like you're not giving these guys a chance to actually shine. You're using Shane as a crutch.
How?
Do you think these guys really need Shane McMahon? So you think Shane McMahon needs to be featured on television?
Okay, so
every show Shane McMahon's been on.
No, I'm not saying that he needs to be. I'm not arguing that. I'm not. You're.
No. That goes to my point. Do you think these guys can succeed without Shane McMahon? Could have succeeded without Shane McMahon on them?
Backing them on TV or backing them in the back?
On TV.
I don't think they would have gotten the exposure without him. Yes, I fully agree with that.
Drew McIntyre.
So if I don't think they would have gotten the exposure,
Drew McIntyre was building momentum. He was building momentum before Shane McMahon.
And
Elias had momentum going into WrestleMania.
And they both lost matches and both got squashed by other guys. So then it went to hell.
And whose fault is that?
I'm not arguing that. I'm saying without Shane McMahon, Drew is not in the spot that he's in. Period. Bingo. At all. In any way, shape, or form. It doesn't.
He could have built his way back up.
without Shane to be facing Undertaker in a match? Fuck no.
I don't think they need the Undertaker either right now at this point, which that's something we said we're probably going to later.
But I don't think he needs to be there, but at the same time, surprised me, so let's see what happens.
Next match, the worst match off Stomping Grounds. Kofi Kingston versus Dolph Ziggler.
That match almost put me to sleep.
The match was horrible.
And the funny thing is, like, I was real disappointed because you know that those two guys have great chemistry together and they put on better matches than that. I don't know what the hell happened there. And they redeemed themselves on SmackDown, but that was just terrible.
Do you want me to tell you what happened there? You had a cage match in the PG era.
Yeah.
Sorry. If you throw someone too much in, like, oh, okay, we can't have blood, so I guess you're not being thrown into the cage that much because eventually someone's going to be like, why weren't they be busted open by now?
Or they might actually be busted open.
So you can't do that. So you're basically having a match that no one can go to the outside. It's literally just inside the match. No one can roll away to take time away to build up heat. Dolph couldn't roll away and be like, fuck this, I'm losing, and then get pulled back in. You know, Dolph couldn't knock Kofi out of the ring and be like, and then like placate to the crowd. No, they had to stay in this crowd, this fucking ring, and try to have a decent match. And when you're that inhibited, like those two are, it's a problem.
I'm not saying like to me like having a like the space thing was an issue because like if you look at some of the older cage matches, it's possible to still have a good cage match without.
See, in old school cage matches, you had guys like Brett and Owen that would go in there and put on a clinic in the mat. You didn't have to rely on, like high flying moves. So by putting them in a cage without letting them throw each other into the cage or brutalize your opponent in the cage, which is the whole point of being in a cage, that takes the whole point away from it.
I'm just saying, there was still potential for it to be a decent match. It had to be for it to be better than it was. So, but I'm agreeing that it was terrible.
Well,
Nick, was anything about that match exciting for you?
The very end.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I found myself at times just kind of poking around on my phone, and I had high hopes for it. I really did when we filled out the scorecards. I was like, I think this could be one of the. But I had my blinders on. I was just looking at it like Kofi versus Dolph. It's got to be a good match. But yeah, like you guys said, I mean, the fact that it was a steel cage, it took away a lot from what those guys do. And it just kind of left things. There was a little to be desired there.
I love the finish of that match, though.
Yeah, for sure.
It's never been seen on WWE TV before. I don't know if it's happened outside.
I can honestly say, and I've watched some other cage matches outside, I don't remember anyone diving.
Yeah, suicide diving themselves out. That genius in my book.
I've seen
somebody belly slide out, but not suicide dive.
I've seen that. I've seen the belly slide out. I've seen people get kicked and knocked out, which almost happened, and we were even talking about it during the match.
I was like, all right, I could see that as like it would be Dusty Finish-esque, but he gets kicked in the face and then rolls out of the ring and like, oh shit, that'd be a good finish too.
And so I have to say that outside of the finish of this match, it was an absolute fucking gross.
It sounded like Aleister Black right there for a second.
I just want someone to come knock on my door.
Come on, knock on our door.
Come on, knock on our door. He'll be waiting for you. He'll be waiting for you. With his tattoos and his blackness, you're gonna get crude. Seth Rollins and Baron Corbin. Lacey Evans as the special guest referee. I am in a minority here. I fucking loved everything about that.
I liked it too.
Yeah.
Smitty, you're rolling your fucking eyes. You hated it?
Once again, we know where this angle comes. We know where the angle comes from, and why are you bringing their personal relationship into this? That's my only thing about it.
Because they're putting reality to the storyline to put emotion in the storyline.
But who cares?
Wrestling 101.
What do you mean, who cares?
Who cares?
I want to know how many people actually would have put Lacey Evans on that scorecard. As
A couple
their-
people did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
Mikey thought
Kudos
somebody
to
from
them.
the show did.
Yeah.
I was like, no, nobody said that because I would have rethought it. Like,
Uh-huh.
it's not a bad idea.
I could
Better than Heath Slater.
Is that who you picked?
Yeah.
He had kids.
Faraday was on TV. There was a reason for it.
I figured it was gonna be somebody who was getting featured on television, but last season, even though last season showed him being a BS fucking
No,
angle.
but I mean, it was a brilliant move, and it progresses both storylines. Whether you like it or not, it makes sense and it progresses. them.
And Smitty just hates something else on WWE television that doesn't.
Well, hate
involve black
Roman
people.
for going over and like everything you're supposed to like. God damn it!
no, I don't hate it. As I told you, I liked heavy machinery. I like the fact that Kevin Owens and Sammy went over. I'm not saying I don't just hate everything in WWE. There's lots of stuff they do during the top card. It's just really ludicrous to me.
Why do you think it's ludicrous that they're featuring reality to bring more emotion into the storyline?
Because this is an angle that they really probably didn't need to use.
They didn't?
No. Becky and Seth's relationship?
I think it's the perfect thing to put into this to keep that story going.
But this story,
In
my point is
fact-
like that's the only way you can keep that story going. Which is both those
in
stories.
fact,
need to
I
end.
think they planted those seeds on purpose so they could do this, which then makes it even better. Because how often does
those doors
WWE
need to
go,
be
"Oh, these two
closed."
are dating," and make a big spectacle?
And it was only within the last week or two that they really pointed it out.
And
Oh, Michael Cole, every fucking time they were on camera together for the last 2 weeks.
Right,
Right.
but they're
2
doing
weeks.
that on purpose. Like Scott Hall said in Dark Side of the Ring about the screw job. Like, Vince controls everything, so you're not ever going to see something Vince doesn't want you to see. You're never going to see them on social media unless Vince wants it. You're not going to see them backstage unless Vince wants it. So for them building it up like that just to put emotion into a storyline that otherwise wouldn't fucking matter.
So do you think they're going? Do you think eventually on SmackDown they're going to do an angle with Corey Graves and Carmella?
No, because Corey can't do anything in the ring anymore.
They could still be an angle. Like fuck, they put an angle between Jim Ross and.
But do they talk about it on WWE television?
But you just said if they're not going to be seen on social media unless Vince wants it to be seen. Well, that's your exact words.
On WWE television as well. That's what he said.
But he said like, I'm placating to his point.
But his point is it's become a thing on social media. Corey posting a photo and Carmella posting a photo is not a thing. That is people. I mean, fuck. Charlotte has posted photos of Andrade. It's not a thing. It's not something that's constantly brought
and it's
up.
not something
constantly discussed.
WWE puts on their social media.
Right.
That's something they do on their separate accounts and whatever. WWE physically put a photo of Seth and Becky kissing after WrestleMania on their social media. That it's completely different.
Yeah, I'll give you that. No, I'll give you that. 'Cause, like, WWE does promote their relationship. Like, yeah, but it's not really like what's like. There's really no point of it. Like, is it why? Because they're both the champions at the time being.
No, so they can have
They can
this
use it on
feud
television.
and use this feud and these emotions that you've built up into people. You know, their boyfriend and girlfriend, like, oh, here comes Becky. Like, yeah, you may not like it, but I guarantee there's a little kid in the crowd like, oh, here comes Seth's girlfriend to kick her ass. Like, who cares? And it made sense. It all makes sense. Like, we normally talk about the shit they do that doesn't make sense, that is it has no continuity. This has both. It makes sense and it's continuous.
I just think it's stupid. That's it.
Well, if there's anything in WWE you didn't think is stupid, I'd be really surprised.
I think a lot of things are not stupid in WWE.
A lot?
Yeah.
Name 5.
Yeah, there you go.
Name 5.
I think the entertainment factor of the 24/7 championship is not stupid. It's goofy, but not stupid.
Okay, that's one.
I think the fact that you finally have your top tier champions actually looking strong and not looking like complete idiots. When I'm talking about Kofi and Seth, they have not looked like complete idiots as baby faces.
But you think the angle Seth is in is stupid.
I just think the angle because they're using his
Okay.
relationship.
Okay,
not the fact of his character.
Okay, that's 2.
I also call bullshit on that one.
Yeah, right. I'll let him have it because he's only at 2.
I think Seth walking around beating everyone with a fucking chair makes him look like an idiot. I think the fact that you have no, fuck that. Proactive. Fucking Eric Young straight up said, "I'm not taking this match," and Seth beat the shit out of him for no reason. That's not a face. That's a heel. You're not. It makes Seth look like an idiot.
Be crazy,
huh?
Isn't Eric Young's character supposed to be some type of crazy, like illogical?
No. You know why? Because he's not Insanity anymore.
Yeah, he's not on TV.
He wasn't wearing Sanity garb. He wasn't in Sanity clothing. He was in regular fucking wrestling tights.
He doesn't even look like Eric Young. I always mistake him for a different wrestler every time I see him.
Yeah, I got to look at him twice. Like, who the fuck's that?
Oh, it's Eric Young. I haven't seen him in a while.
Oh, EY. Oh, yeah. Like D-Bry, but EY. What? TNA. But okay, if you want to say that he doesn't look like a fool, go for it. If that's your honest opinion.
My honest opinion is, honestly, you look like he was more proactive and looked like he actually exercised some common sense instead of just sitting around waiting. And they
I like how he just said that him being paranoid is him using common sense. He literally said the word paranoid.
I said instead of using using his paranoid to his advantage. And they look like
it's not common sense, but whatever, dude. Okay, 2. You're at 2.
Yeah, you're at 2.
Okay, so I do like the fact that
he can't breathe. He's gonna puke.
I'm so happy his paranoid is common sense.
I enjoy NXT.
Talking about WWE. Nope, sorry.
It is WWE.
That's your first strike.
You can. No, I'm sorry. When WWE calls it NXT, it's not WWE. We're talking Raw and SmackDown here. That's what we're talking. We're not. Nothing about NXT is involved in this.
Oh, you said WWE. You didn't say
we're talking about that. Yeah, that's exactly what WWE is. Raw and SmackDown
shit.
Main roster shit. Firefly Funhouse, which is actually really entertaining.
It's over.
I really enjoyed it. Also,
so the Bray Wyatt stuff.
Yeah, nobody noticed.
We're going Bray Wyatt.
Nobody
all
noticed
the backstage segment of SmackDown. All the puppets should start popping up in the back.
No.
On Raw and SmackDown.
And they didn't have one this week.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
This week?
Oh, no. Firefly Funhouse is done. The Bray's just creeping everyone out with the puppets now.
Okay, so you're on 3.
See, I do like the fact that they built Ricochet to get momentum, and it actually paid off.
Now you're just pulling at straws
No,
here.
I'm not.
But go ahead.
No, I already said I liked when.
All right, you got one more to go. Give me 5. You got
Black
4.
WWE champion. And that's an easy one. I'd have saved that elephant.
Tell me that wasn't fodder.
So cliche.
Fodder, drink.
It wasn't. That was actually. I'm always happy about that.
What are we drinking, Nick? By the way,
Karen Powell.
I think it says porter.
Oh,
yeah, it's a porter.
I saw the P.
You can't read.
Blue Tractor Barbecue and Brewery.
I couldn't even fucking see it.
It's a porter.
Is it really called Karen?
No, that's my mom's name actually. Shout out to my mom. She picked it up.
Karen?
Picked it up. She's in Ann Arbor over the weekend and brought it to me on my birthday.
This reminds me of my tweet when I said I can never date anyone named Karen.
Yeah.
Could you imagine getting into a fight and going, "God damn it, Karen"? I'd laugh every fucking time.
Yeah.
I would never keep that argument
You've
going.
been a stereotype
I do have a
white guy.
question, Nick.
I try and send those memes and shit to my mom every time I see one.
I
I'm
was
like,
going to ask you, how true are they? Does she
How
get in
long
fight
is her
with
hair?
management a lot?
no, she doesn't get in the whole. She's got a little bit of an old school curl going on.
Not
Yeah.
like a bob.
No.
Like a short, okay, that's
No,
what she
fuck
doesn't
black
like.
guys haircut.
Nothing like that. Yeah, she is not the quintessential Karen manager talk.
Okay.
First off, a bob is not I fuck black guys haircut.
I said not the black guy's typical haircut. You know which one I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's when it's much shorter, and then you got the one little comb over on the side, but there's hair right here, and it kind of puffs up. Yeah, I love this black guy. Moving on. So we're gonna go back and talk just one fucking thing about Raw, okay? Okay. First off, I lied. We're gonna go into something else first.
You liar!
I know, I'm a piece of fucking shit. We put out polls on our Twitter account, each of which got quite a few votes, ladies and gentlemen, asking them about how they felt about Stomping Grounds, how they felt about Raw, and how they felt about SmackDown. So, first off, Stomping Grounds, 38% of the people gave it thumbs up, 35% of the people gave it thumbs bar, and 27% of the people gave it a thumbs down. Which, It's kind of in the middle. Very few. If you're looking at it, most people were not bad to it was good. Because that's 73% of the people. Here's what was awesome: Monday Night Raw. What did you think? Thumbs up, thumbs bar, thumbs down. 70% of people gave Raw a thumbs up.
That last match was fucking amazing too.
Thumbs bar for 15% and thumbs down 15%. The way I'm looking at it is some people are just going to hate no matter what.
Yep.
I just told you I enjoyed the main event of fucking outside the Gallows Anderson.
It
bullshit.
was fucking AJ and Ricochet. How could you not enjoy it?
It's got a real good point there. Fucking amazing match. And then for SmackDown Live, currently we're sitting at 19% of people gave SmackDown Live a thumbs up, 41% gave it a thumbs bar, and 40% gave it thumbs down. And I agree, SmackDown was not that fucking wonderful of a show, right? Most people, when you're watching Raw,
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
But that comes to a point when you're looking at the Raw and SmackDown viewership, both of which were up from the weeks before. As a matter of fact, June 10th, Raw got a 2.125 million viewers. June 17th,
what was the third hour on that for this week?
Well, hold on. 2.235 million viewers for June 17th. And this week, Raw got a 2.275 million viewers, which, so you're asking for the hours. Hour 1, 2.386. Hour 2, 2.315. And hour 3, 2.126.
All right. Now, that's up from the previous weeks as well?
Yes. Last week's third hour was 2.078. Every hour.
So you
every
take
hour
away Brock Lesnar, who's supposed to be this big attraction. Insert AJ versus Ricochet, and you get more viewers. That's so crazy.
I'm going to call it Ricochet.
Yeah, Ricochet.
It's a great match for Ricochet.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying you're actually promoting wrestling, not an attraction for your third hour.
And SmackDown itself was up last week's, whereas 1.859, and this week's 1.921.
Oof.
SmackDown's always been like that. I mean, SmackDown hasn't crossed more than 2.269. I'm sorry, 2.1. It hasn't crossed more than 2.1 other than the Superstar Shake-Up episode when it was 2.219.
The steak?
I want steak, dude.
Speaking of steak, right now, promo code wrong again at Smitty'sMeats.com. Gets you a free tube steak with orders of $200 or more.
Get some. Get a 62
Smitty's
steak.
Meats. You can't go wrong, or can you?
He did. You can't.
Wrong meat, right price.
Wednesday Night Raw.
This is why Dinesh is letting us sponsor, or is being our sponsor.
The other thing that we have going on with Raw and SmackDown is the attendance record. The attendance.
Wow, bad.
And yeah, Stomping Grounds was
They probably
real
can't
bad.
even fill up the MGM Grand right now.
Or the Sears Center. Yeah, so 6,000 fans were in attendance at Stomping Grounds at the Tacoma Dome, which can hold 18,000 people. So 33% of the Tacoma Dome was full for Stomping Grounds. You want to talk worse than what Stomping Grounds did for attendance inside? Oh, by the way, 4,000 or 4,500 were paid attendance. They were walking around handing out tickets at a mall earlier in the day and offering 2-for-1 tickets to go see Stomping Grounds in Tacoma, Washington.
Well, why? But that sucks. But at the same time, why would you have an event like that in Tacoma, Washington?
Yeah, well,
or I'd get a smaller event so it looks sold out.
Remember,
like,
they
NXT's
did have to move this. Originally, it was set up for Backlash last weekend, the weekend before this. However, they thought it was too close to the Saudi Arabia show and that attendance would be down and it wouldn't do much for the network. So they moved it a week, got a new building, And so that's what's going to be argued as to why.
When I saw that the Key Arena where they were really going to hold it, that was under some maintenance, so it was going to be in Seattle at first too. So
Even possible.
yeah.
The other problem is the pay-per-view buys. Now, granted, most of the people get their viewing of WWE by the network now. However, WWE still averages 15 to 16,000 buys.
That's fucking crazy.
Right.
That's got to be like bars and stuff like that because you got to order per.
Yeah,
screen.
and things like that. The bigger events average around 20,000. WrestleMania 35 actually drew 100,000 pay-per-view buys.
That makes sense.
The lowest in the current era was 11,000 pay-per-view buys, which was WWE Super Showdown.
Surprise.
Wait.
I guess you could buy
the one in Saudi that
yeah,
was a network exclusive.
It was not a network exclusive, apparently.
Let's say pay-per-view.
9,800 for Stomping Grounds.
Ooh.
Rematch.
As a matter of fact, only 3,800 more people bought the thing than were in attendance.
Okay.
Ouch.
And if you add those together, that sells out MGM. Oh no, wait, it doesn't.
Nope.
It's not 20,000 people.
Motherfuckers, he's firing buckshots now.
Would have to be a gun reference, wouldn't it?
No, it's a Young Bucks reference.
He made a gun reference earlier.
Because that's all he knows.
You want me to go get my rope?
Let me go get my 9 first, bitch.
You have 9 inches of rope?
9
You're
millimeters.
gonna need more than that.
9 millimeters of Glock Beretta.
That's a threat. We don't take kindly to those. However,
I
if
was
you
just
need
trying to
legal
tie you a
advice-
knot.
Right. He's not taking that up.
Maybe use it for some bondage. I don't know what you and Marcus like to do, but I was just trying to help you out.
So Raw had the Undertaker show up. Undertaker to help out Roman Reigns, save him from Shane and Drew McIntyre. So now at Extreme Rules, you get the Undertaker teaming with Roman Reigns for the first time ever in history against Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre. Basically, the Yard Dogs versus Money Drew. Money Mac.
Yard
McMcIntyre. Goddamn Yard Dogs. Smitty, you hate Drew McIntyre with Shane McMahon. So you're saying Drew McIntyre facing The Undertaker could have happened in any other shape or form if you gave Drew McIntyre the proper build without Shane McMahon?
McIntyre.
Yeah, you could have.
Really? Why?
If you actually had him beat Roman at some point.
I don't think you'd ever see Drew McIntyre face The Undertaker in any way, shape, or form without Shane McMahon. Any type of build.
I agree.
Any type of build. Fucking Undertaker would be moved on to anyone else before Drew got big enough to finally face The Undertaker. Because by the time Drew got big enough to face The Undertaker, Undertaker would be truly retired.
I don't think he'll ever retire until he dies. I think then he'll be put in the Hall of Fame. It's the only way to keep the gimmick alive.
The day man actually dies. Goes in the Hall of Fame.
I mean, he could be 90 and you could hear the gong. Like,
probably. Come out on a cane and a walker.
2040, you know, WWE
Why is his brother
stock
riding him
is
out?
tanking.
Sorry, my psoriasis is messing up right now.
So, we're gonna stop messing with Smitty about this because eventually it's just come to a point where he's just can't answer it and he's just gonna keep going around in circles and going on and bringing up other parts of the argument. So, that being fucking said, what did you like about Raw, Nick? Other than, Taker popping up.
AJ and Ricochet.
Yeah.
Ricochet. Yeah, and a match
Sounds like
like
a really bad name for jacking off.
gotta take a quick Ricochet.
But hit him with that Ricochet.
I didn't expect to see that match so soon between two guys like with that type of wrestling profile. I think they're very evenly matched, and I think it was a good way to end Raw. That was my highlight for sure.
That was my highlight, but that's another one I liked.
Go for it, Smitty.
I actually liked the feature of the tag teams on Raw this week, in the 24-hour segment. So those were a couple of highlights. Like I did enjoy a nice chunk of Raw this week.
Z, anything else that was a great moment for you?
It was all touched upon.
I fucking was really annoyed with something on Raw. As much as the consistency that they've kept up with, right? And they've done well. Even Baron Corbin and Lacey going for these extra titles, there's consistency in this storyline. There's consistency with the 24/7 title. I thought the stupidity of Braun versus Lashley in a tug-of-war match
I completely forgot about that.
was absolute fucking shit. I was not a fan of Anderson and Gallows in their play-around mode after they seemingly got on the same page with AJ
Last week.
at the pay-per-view. Not last week, because last week it was the same thing. Him saying that he didn't think they were being serious enough and focused. But all of a sudden, when Ricochet won, they were all together and focused to pop into his photo shoot. Now they're unfocused again. And then even to the point where he told them to go away at the end, I thought that was dumb.
Yeah.
I do appreciate how WWE handled their new routine, which is Vince McMahon saying he doesn't want any wrestling anymore during the commercial breaks.
Yeah.
I thought Raw was way better than SmackDown with that because we're getting way too many 2 out of 3 falls matches now because, there's got a reset, which in New Japan there's a reset for these 2 out of 3 falls matches, and there never has been in WWE, and that's fine, but there's just so many of them now that it's killing you.
Why would you have 2 on the same card?
Right, and then 2, and then another one the next night. You know, it's because he does. They're like,
weren't they both on the same card? Weren't they both on SmackDown? The Miz versus Elias.
There was the elimination match on Raw.
The big
tag elimination match.
Yeah, okay. Nikki Alexa bit with Natalya and Naomi. That was reset as well. And then also the AJ Ricochet thing got reset as well. So it was 3 on Raw.
Yeah, it's.
Oh yeah, because they restarted the match after it.
Yeah, and it's just.
I mean, at least Gallows and Anderson are getting TV time.
I'm not arguing Gallows and Anderson getting TV time, but my thing is, again, you can't build somebody if you're flip-flopping. But there can't be a steady build of emotion, be it hate or love.
Well, what would have made sense to me and what I thought was going to happen was they were going to leave and then they were going to come back and they were going to be the reason that AJ lost to Ricochet, and then that would set up a feud between Carl Anderson and AJ with, Don Gallows in the corner. Which would have been cool, which then, okay, I see why you did that, but now it's like, okay, where are they going with this?
I think that's the only upside, like, where do you go with this? Do you get, like, a big heel turn with all 3 of them, or do you get Gallows and Anderson to turn on Styles? There's going to be a turn somewhere in here.
I feel like they could flip the script on AJ. AJ wants to come into their world and say, you're not doing the right thing. You're not focused. What about you, AJ? You know what I mean?
But he's winning.
Right, but at the same time...
Against champions.
He's still... I don't know.
You're not the AJ we saw.
Right, you're not the same AJ from that we knew in Japan. Or, what have you done since you lost the title? Or
what have you done for me, AJ?
What have you done for me, AJ?
I thought it was going to AJ's going to get a shot at the U.S. Championship. Gallows and Anderson turn on him at that point. I mean, you end up with a feud with AJ and Ricochet versus Gallows and Anderson, and that's how you send them out when their contracts end.
We'll see how they play it off, but that was like the only thing I didn't like. And before we move on, Kofi Kingston in that second fall, since the Elimination Chamber, that's the first time Kofi Kingston has taken a pinfall loss in a match, in a singles match, since Elimination Chamber in February.
Damn.
Attaboy.
Yep.
Whoa, we don't call them boys. That's a term. All right, before we get into these Fyter Fest picks, we have Twitter wars to talk about. And the first one is between Seth Rollins and Will Osprey. Seth Rollins put out a tweet 3 days ago. It's Wednesday, so he put it out right before fucking Stomping Grounds. Best pro wrestling on the planet, period. A lot of people were laughing at that.
Including Chris Jericho.
After Stomping Grounds, Seth goes doubling down, best pro wrestling on the planet. See that cruiserweight triple threat? And I'm sorry, this is during Stomping Grounds. He goes, and that's just one night, one match amongst many. Find anyone else alive who does what I do as well as I do it as often as I do it. You can't. Cage Side Seats quoted, said, remember when Seth Rollins said WWE had the best pro wrestling in the world? Ha, 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 ha. And hashtag WWE Stomping Grounds. Again, I don't know when this was, but Stomping Grounds was still a good pay-per-view and with good matches in it. I mean, one was a complete snore fest, like we said. But other than that, the matches were good. I'm not saying the fucking 8-star matches, but if you're going for an overall card, it was a good card.
8 stars? We're doing 8 stars now?
Whatever. I'm just throwing out numbers when I say stars now.
He's doing a Meltzer.
26-star match.
27.5-star matches. And then Seth quoted that, said, sure do, dorks. And after that pay-per-view, I stand by it even more. The crew brought it tonight. From top to bottom, all-out effort from every person in the ring and out. And you're still talking and writing about it. So the one where Seth said, find me anyone alive who does what I do as well as I do it and often as I do it. That was quoted by Will Osprey and said, I'm alive. And then Seth goes, I'm sorry, little guy. We already have a better version of you here, and he just won his first U.S. title tonight. Congrats, King Ricochet. Ooh. Keep working hard, though, buddy. So Will then made a quote, wrote a tweet, said, fact of the day, Will Osprey wrestled in more matches in 2019 than Seth Rollins. Catch up, little guy. Kissy face heart emoji. To which then Seth replied and said, I mean, if you want to talk numbers, we can compare bank accounts too. P.S. That's counting a month off with a broken back. Thumbs up, buddy. And that's where I kind of was like...
He went Floyd Mayweather on him.
But you can't go... you can't say, let me find someone else who does it as much as me, as good as me. And then when you get called out, bring your bank account in.
Listen, he pulled a Floyd Mayweather Jr.
What? But Floyd, no, see, if Floyd says he's the best, Floyd's still undefeated.
He's undefeated.
He has
a claim to that.
So Floyd, when people call Floyd out for his flaws, the first thing he does is I got money. They call me money for a reason. It's not like
he's never lost though.
It's not about you get called out on your bullshit, not just.
But see, Floyd's bullshit. When people point things out, it's stuff away from what Floyd's saying. The thing is, this was calling Seth out on exactly what he said. When people go, yeah, but you did this, or you got knocked down in this round, it's like, but I won. But you want to bring up stuff that doesn't matter because I'm saying I'm the best because I'm undefeated. Well, now let's also bring in my bank account. So that's a Floyd because people are going outside of the realm of what Floyd's talking about. So then Floyd goes outside of that for them. Seth was called out directly on a fucking line that he said and then went to the bank account for no reason. There was no reason to go outside of the argument. And that's what I'm saying. That's why it's not a Floyd.
Okay, when I go with that Floyd reference, that's more so his little beef with 50 Cent and guys like 50 Cent and T.I. Those had nothing to do with his career. They caught him on his bullshit of being a domestic abuser. They caught him on his bullshit about being illiterate. And the first thing he does is pull up his money.
Oh, okay, but what does that have to do with when Floyd's saying he's the greatest boxer of all time?
I had my point was not toward the whole boxing thing.
But that's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. We're talking. Seth said nobody can do what I'm. But
you get called your bullshit in general, not just. My point is, your point is like Seth making wrestling. My point is, just in general, a flaw. You get caught on a flaw in general. The first thing you pull up is your bank account. That's what I consider pulling the Floyd Mayweather.
Huh?
So back to stuff that matters.
Yeah. No. I'm done talking about it. I'm honestly done talking about it because it literally makes zero sense.
Yes, it.
No, it doesn't. Seth called out on something. People went at Floyd for the stuff that he did, and then he brought up the bank account. I'm honestly done arguing with it because you're going into a completely different situation. It's not anything involved in that. When Floyd says he's the best boxer, that's it.
It's because Floyd can throw hands.
And he
Floyd
wins.
Runs. We're not even into that.
Yeah, thank you.
So Seth said, "Find me someone they do that," and Osprey said, "I'm alive." And then that's what he went. He goes, "I mean, if you want to talk numbers, we can compare. Bank accounts. P.S. That's counting a month off with a broken back." Will Osprey commented, "You love adding stuff, don't you? I mean, the original question was, find anyone else alive who does what I do as well as I do it as often as I do it. No talk of money, no talk of Ricochet. You said anyone. Here I am, just as consistent, just as good. Hope the back heals up." There we go. So,
is WWE signing Will Ospreay?
wouldn't you love to see that? No.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, they'll eventually. They'll throw enough money at him eventually.
Sometimes it's not all about the money, man.
Did you see some of these other
It
ones?
might
that
be now. Now we can show Seth his bank account.
Osprey tweeted and retweeted a one from Corbin. It was like more important fact: Baron Corbin has wrestled more matches in 2019 than Will Osprey. And Will says, "No wonder Ross sucks."
Yeah, saw that.
Fuck, that's a good one.
Osprey with the win. And then
to WWE nothing.
So Wade Keller tweeted out something that didn't have any ads in it, which really blew my fucking mind.
Right.
For the little guy tweet, Wade coded it and said, "This isn't a good tone at all if he wants to get people who love good wrestling, regardless of brand, to feel goodwill toward WWE's strengths and its vocal leader. Buddy, little guy, disappointing in character, defining condescension. This is heel Corbin promo content." To which Seth said, "I don't care about goodwill, Wade. I care about respect. And if some kid who thinks he's got it all figured out wants to step to me, then he's going to get patted on the head and sent on his way. And so will you." To which then Will Ospreay quoted that tweet and said, "I just said I'm alive. Show of goodwill, I'll happily send you a free shirt, boss. Extra small, slide into my DMs."
Oh, that one I did not see.
That
Will Ospreay 3.
Osprey is just beating him like left and right, and it's just to the point where you're just like, Jesus, man, Seth,
The Twitter
stop.
machine.
It's good, but man, did that hurt. So then WWE announced today that our good our good friends, our good friends at Evolve, their 10th anniversary show is Evolve 131, July 13th. It's going to be in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, from the ECW Arena.
Awesome.
Oh, that crowd's gonna be brutal.
Why?
It's ECW Arena.
It's an indie show at the ECW Arena.
They'll be fine.
Yeah, they'll be
With
just fine.
indie guys.
With WWE signees there.
Not
guys
all
that-
of them are. Not all of them.
They may not be signed to the main roster, but they're still signed on the WWE banner.
It'll be fine, Smitty.
Adam Cole, Matt Riddle, Drew Gulak.
ROH guys, indie guys.
We're not seeing Raw and SmackDown guys. But if you want to go ahead and keep thinking it's a bad thing.
It's like NXT's NXT.
Yeah.
Once again,
So if WWE sent an email today saying that they're going to be airing Evolve 131 because it's Evolve's 10th anniversary special on the WWE network.
Oh, like live. I thought you meant it was just going to be in the.
No, they're
Okay.
it's available live at
score sheets for that.
8 p.m.
No more fucking score sheets. I already do enough of it about now.
Can you stop in the studio?
Sorry.
Then fans point out that this is happening the same day as Fight for the Fallen, the charity show that AEW is putting on.
There it is.
Kenny Omega tweeted out, "If lining your pockets with blood money is okay, then what's wrong with trying to undermine a charity show for victims of gun violence? I hear that healthy competition is supposed to be a good thing, and yet I can't help but feel like I'm gonna be sick." That tweet has since been deleted, and Kenny made another one. "I've said my piece, and it opened the door to a very toxic environment. It was a message to fans. It wasn't a message to fans or the boys, just the decision makers. I wish everyone wrestling on any show that day all the best. That is all." There's been comments, replies, and everything. One person said, I hope ultimately you see more support and less toxicity. Someone said maybe if you looked at the Khan's business dealings, you wouldn't have said as much. Someone said, don't create a monster and then get mad when it steps on a few buildings. Someone said, you're a class act, Kenny. Wishing you a great show on the 13th. Hope you raise a ton of money for gun violence. Someone else said, you never have to apologize for speaking the truth. Keep being the best in the world. Whoops. Damn it. Someone, honestly, it even upsets me that you have to explain this. Another one was like, it needed to be said. And haters will hate. You have the right to speak your opinion. No need to say sorry. We love you. Keep up the real energy you bring from inside of you. How do you feel about what Kenny said there, Nick?
Well, it doesn't really bother me. I mean, it is kind of a bold move on WWE's part. Did you mention earlier that Fight for the Fallen was going to be free also?
Yes, it's also free.
Okay, I didn't know that. I don't think that they're going to have anything to worry about. I know that WWE's trying to get people over to the network on that night as opposed to watching Fight for the Fallen. They got to do something if they're going to be throwing another pay-per-view out there for free. But I don't have any problems with what he said at all.
Well, so the Evolve 131 date was announced back in mid-May.
Mm-hmm.
There had been already talk about Riddle versus Gulak, which is happening on that show, months ago as well. The Adam Cole thing, I think, was just announced with this. He's taking on Akira Tozawa, and it's for the NXT Championship. I don't know, and no one knows when the talks between WWE. I mean, WWE and Evolve have had a working relationship for a very long time.
About the last 8 years, give or
Yeah.
take.
So it's not like this is randomly new, and it's their 10th anniversary show. So it's something
they were
big.
going to put the show on anyway, and WWE is just like, hey, we'll put it on our network because they have their own.
Now, Kenny's saying that they're only putting it on the network because Fight for the Fallen is on the same day.
He's probably right.
Do you think that's ethical? Business ethics.
Well, you see the ethics of I don't think it's ethical, but I mean when it comes to business, ethics are a very gray area. Because I mean for starters, we didn't know. We didn't even realize, like, WWE can just pretend like they weren't even paying attention to AEW and be like, oh, we didn't know, blah, blah, blah. I guarantee that's why it's happening. But, I mean, how do you prove it?
It's just too coincidental that it's all kind of happening now. You know what I mean? They could have announced a month ago that they were going to be putting the pay-per-view on the network.
Yeah, it wasn't until... Yeah, it didn't get much...
Coverage
until, we found out that Fight for the Fallen and Fyter Fest are going to be free.
But they've been announced as free for a while now.
Well, Fyter Fest was, but now...
No, when they announced Fyter Fest being free, they announced Fight for the Fallen as well. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I just recently found out that Fight for the Fallen was free. I knew Fyter Fest was, so...
It may not be the most ethical, but it's not a bad idea. Okay, that's when Fight for the Fallen is. All right. Go to the network. You're going to watch the 10th anniversary of Evolve.
Yeah, and when you're done, you get your ass out there and you find that fucking dog.
Smitty, how do you feel about this?
I was going to watch Fight for the Fall and Fyter Fest anyway. Fight for the Fall, I was already bought one after Double or Nothing with the Cody and Dustin thing. Evolve, I've watched Evolve on and off for a couple of years. I've known about the working relationship, but my skepticism comes like, why? Like, you've been working with Evolve all the time. Why wait till now to put their product on your network?
I mean, it is a big show. I get it.
But at the same time, World Wrestling Network has its own network.
Yeah, so why? Like, I get Evolve using WWE to get more exposure.
Oh yeah, no, on that end, like, of course Evolve's gonna be like, yeah, put it on your network. Like, why wouldn't you?
But like you've been working with these guys for how many? What is it? Almost 8 years now, and now you offer them time on your show, like on your platform. You could have done.
Yeah,
you could
why
have done
now?
any time now, and you could have done any time before now.
Well, at the same time, this is also their 10th anniversary show,
But as a
which
casual,
is a big fucking number.
let's
Okay, you
look
could
at
have
it
did on
from
their 5th anniversary show then.
What, their
You work-
5th anniversary show?
You could have.
2019, 5th anniversary, 2014. Was the network huge back then?
It was just being. It still had problems. It was being debugged. No, I think the networks came out in like 2012.
So they just finished
Right around the
fixed out their
CM
bugs.
Punk run.
Launched February 2014.
Oh, there it is.
So they were still. New.
Asia, August 12th, 2014. United Kingdom, 2015.
Smitty, you're wrong again.
January. India and Middle East, March 24th, 2015.
But-
North Africa, West Africa, November 2015. January 2016. And Japan, Germany, Australia, and Switzerland.
I think that if WWE does this regularly from now on moving forward, it won't look
As bad.
as bad. I don't think it necessarily looks bad. I
But
want to
how-
use the term bad here.
What
but
could they do regularly here?
put companies like Evolve that they have a good working relationship with on the network, because if they just do this as a one-off thing, who fucking cares? I mean, why? Why? You want me to care, even as a casual fan, even as you guys? Why do I care if it's Evolve's 10th anniversary? Why do you want me to care? More than I care about AEW. I can go on the network and watch this Evolve thing anytime I want to. Same thing with Fyter Fest. Same thing with Fight for the Fallen. But why would I care? Why not? If you're going to put, all right, in 5 months, another Evolve pay-per-view will be on there. It doesn't have to be every one. If they start doing something like that, then I'm cool with that. But just this one thing because it's their 10th anniversary,
It's like a BS excuse.
But it's also a huge thing, a huge number for them. I'm not saying it's not done in that way, because I think it very well is a part of it. I just think it just happened. I think
As an executive VP, though, Kenny shouldn't be making tweets like that.
Yeah, he does need to keep
If he
his
was
cool.
just
I will
a
I will
talent,
give you
that's
that.
one thing, but you're an executive vice president of a company. You should keep your thoughts to yourself.
I don't know.
Before
Next.
you put a tweet like that out,
Controversy
have to
creates
delete it.
cash still. So
Let's move on to Fyter Fest, gentlemen.
Finally.
Fyter Fest has come to break another ring. We have Joe's stuff, which I will pull up.
I was about to ask D to pass my phone because I was gonna pull it up.
Actually, yeah, Smitty, you look at it because I got other stuff that I'm going out on my phone. So Joe obviously isn't here, but he did send in his picks for Fyter Fest. There are 8 matches that have been officially announced. If anything is added for any of our unscheduled appearances, you will be knocked out for those, and we'll let you know. Did it again, didn't you?
I did. I forgot.
Michael Nakazawa versus Alex Chibali from CEO on the buy-in show. Best Friends versus SCU versus Private Party on the buy-in show, which is a weird fucking match because it's super convoluted. It's super explanatory. So if whoever wins this match goes on to a match at All Out, and if they win that match at All Out, then they get a first round bye in the Tag Team Championship tournament that will start on the weekly television for AEW. It's weird. I don't know. Like, it's just like, so basically these guys, whoever wins this match is going to take on someone else at All Out.
But how are they going to are they going to determine at Fight for the Fallen who the other tag team is?
I guess it's the only show, so it makes sense.
And then is the other tag team out, or do they just get a lower seed?
Oh, yeah, I'm thinking it's not like they're out of the tournament. They don't get a first round bye. Like everyone's gonna, like they're not automatically going into the second round.
Smitty's bye.
Yeah,
Fuck it, I'll take it.
that's why you're bye.
And I just realized something I said that I just set myself up.
Also on this card, Yuka Sakazaki and Rio versus Rio versus Nyla Rose. That's the triple threat women's match. Christopher Daniels is taking on his pal Shima. John Moxley making his debut match against Joey Janela with Penelope Ford. There is a fatal four-way match, Hangman Page versus Jungle Boy versus Jimmy Havoc versus MJF. Cody with Brandy Rhodes is facing Darby Allin. And the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, the Elite, are taking on Lucha Bros and Laredo Kid. Those are the 8 matches. We're going to start with the buy-in matches. Nick, are you going last again? Because this is your last chance at being the champion.
Yep.
We have officially set up on our end, just to let everybody know where our scores are. Z, you said you pulled 100 on the...
100 on Stomping Grounds and 57 on...
And 57. So Z has 157 points. I got 118 on 116 on Stomping Grounds and 40 points for
156.
Takeover 70. Yeah, 156. Joe scored 100. Joe scored 99. I'm looking at the old one, trying to remember the negative because everything was being marked with unscheduled appearances as 5, and there's 3 now. So Joe only scored 99. And he got 35 on NXT TakeOver 25, which gave him a grand total of 134. Nick, you had 79 on Stomping Grounds with 56. So you got 135 overall. And Smitty, you got 97 and 52. 97 for Stomping Grounds, 52 for NXT TakeOver 55. What?
25.
NXT, 25, which gave you a grand total of 148. Okay, so Z, you're in the lead, barely,
By a
but
point.
Yeah, but basically everyone's involved in this. There's no way that Nick, you still could come back and win.
But you
One out of your ass.
You never know. So it's not like anyone's out of this, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's really close.
It's a scramble.
So we're going to start off. So, Nick, you're going last. So we're going to go with Z first, then Smitty. So we're going Nakazawa first, Best Friends, isn't that because the buy-in matches are first. Then Joe, then me. So that's how we're going to go. Damn it. That means I end up being last there. All right. Michael Nakazawa versus Alex Bailey from CEO. Who is the winner? And 3 extras. What's the fall type? Weapon types used. Remember, that is unique weapons. So if there's 2 different chairs used, there's only 1 point for because it was a chair. Then obviously a table, so on and so forth. And will there be blood? Yes or no? Z.
I have Ajeb winning.
A jeb.
You racist son of a bitch.
By pinfall, 4 different weapon types, and there will be blood.
There will be blood.
Great
Smitty.
movie. I got Alex Bailey winning as well by pinfall. 4 weapons used, but I have no to blood.
Stop copying me.
You said no blood.
I know, but that's the only thing you didn't copy.
Well, actually, I had this filled out before you were finished.
What are Joe's picks?
Joe has the oily man Michael Nakazawa winning by pinfall. He has 4. He actually listed off the weapons. And no to blood.
All right. I've actually constantly scribbled this off. I'm going to settle with Alex Bailey by pinfall. 5 matches, 5 weapons used, and yes, there will be blood. Nick?
I've got Nakazawa by pin with 5 weapons and no to the blood.
I almost went with Nakazawa, but I just feel like
he's gimmicky.
No, not that he's gimmicky. I mean, he's something that's...
It's fun.
I feel like it makes sense to give him a win, especially in AEW when wins and losses matter.
Mm-hmm.
That it would make sense to give him a win, but I just feel like there's only a couple appearances of other people.
CEO is actually part of Fyter Fest as well. It's not
right.
just AEW.
But what I'm saying is there's only so many instances for this card where another promotion is involved. I don't think this is one they don't want to put another promotion over because they're not in other instances. So,
good point.
Next match, Best Friends versus SCU versus Private Party. Remember, whoever wins this match goes on to All Out to fight in another match to where if they win that, they get a first round bye in the tag team tournament on whatever fucking show AW puts on TNT. Smitty, you're leading this one off. You're going to choose the winner, who's going to make the fall, who's going to take the fall, aerial moves plus or minus 1, and will the Dark Order attack at any time before, during, or after the bell ring?
I got the Best Friends winning this match by. I got Beretta pinning Kazarian, Beretta making a fall, Kazarian taking a fall.
Seriously.
9 aerial moves, and yes to a Dark Order attack at any time. And Joe
has
he has Best Friends winning, Beretta pinning Mark Queen, 11 aerials, and yes to a Dark Order attack.
All right. Oh, man. SCU winning. I believe that Scorpio Sky is going to make the fall. I don't know anyone in Private Party.
I don't either. That's
Mark Queen was one of the guys in Private Party.
That's
I don't
what
know
I
the other one.
figured because I know everybody else.
Mark Queen? He's not even on the AEW roster.
It says Mark.
I'm not arguing it. I'm just saying under the AEW roster.
It says MARQ QUEN. QUEN.
Quinn?
Mark Quinn, whatever.
QUIN?
QUEN.
Yeah, Mark. Probably Chen.
Racist bastards.
What? That's possible. Yeah, Mark and Isaiah Cassidy is the other one. So I'm gonna choose Cassidy to take the fall. Aerials, I'm gonna put at 9, and Dark Order attack. Yep. Z.
Best Friends, Trent B will make the fall. Kazarian will take the fall. 10 aerial moves, and yes to a Dark Order attack.
All right, Nick.
Got SCU. Sky making the fall. Beretta taking the fall. 8 aerial moves, and yes to a Dark Order attack.
All right. Up next, the triple threat women's match. Yuka Sakazaki. Sometimes I just get so tongue-tied with these names.
I get it.
You
heard me trying to say it earlier.
Versus Rio versus Nyla Rose. Joe's leading this one off with the winner, the fall type. Who's going to take the fall? And will there be outside interference? Yes or no?
Joe has Rio winning by pinfall. Yuka Sakazaki taking the pinfall. And yes to an outside interference.
I have Nyla Rose winning by pinfall over Rio, and no to outside interference.
I have Rio winning by pinfall over Nyla Rose with no outside interference.
And I've got, Smitty, my bad.
I have Nyla Rose winning by pinfall over Rio with no interference.
And I've got Nyla by pinfall over Yuka with no interference.
Yuka. Next match, Christopher Daniels versus Sema. I'm starting this one off, picking the winner, fall type, and how many aerials there will be. Remember, if you get the number of aerials correct, plus or minus 1, you get an extra 2 points. I have Sema going over by pinfall with 5 aerials.
I have FEMA going over by pinfall.
Gonna be like a week late.
5 area moves.
I have Daniels winning by pinfall, 7 aerial moves. Joe has Sema winning by pinfall, 8 aerial moves.
Nicholas?
I've got Zima by pinfall with 7 aerial moves.
Damn
it. Sounds good. Up next, John Moxley versus Joey Janela with Penelope Ford. This one has some of the tied for the most extras. Fall type, match time, plus or minus 1. How many near falls? Will there be blood? And will there be weapons used? Yes or no? Z, you're leading this one.
Is this match a DQ match?
is this match?
So
a no DQ match.
the way AEW's explained it, like everything is at the referee's discretion. So that's
Okay, so I have Dean Ambrose winning by pinfall. 30-minute time.
Dean Ambrose isn't even in AEW.
7 near falls. Yes, there will be blood. Yes, there will be weapons used.
and I have
Smitty.
John Moxley winning by pinfall. 22 minutes, 5 near falls. Yes to blood and yes to weapons.
He looks a lot like Dean Ambrose.
A little bit.
And that's weird. It's really weird.
I see the resemblance.
What's Joe got?
Joe also has John Moxley winning by pinfall, a 20-minute time limit, a 20-minute match, 4 near falls, yes to blood, and yes to weapons.
All right. I have Chickon Poxley winning by pinfall, 24-minute match time, near falls 5, yes blood, and yes, there will be a weapon used.
I'm changing both of mine to no and no.
Got you making break.
There won't be blood and there won't be weapons used.
One of those 3 points is going to help me win this.
Yeah, we'll see.
You ain't seen
Nick.
that Juice Robinson match.
I've got Mon Joxley by pin, 23 minutes, 7 near falls, yes to blood, and yes to weapons.
All right, Smitty, you're kicking this one off. Fatal 4-way match. Who's the winner? Who takes the fall? How many near falls? And will there be an MJF promo? And if so, how long is that time?
I got Adam Page winning.
Who?
Adam Page.
Not even listed in this fucking thing.
Yeah, I'm not saying that word.
It's not even listed.
I'm just using the last name. I got Page winning. P-A-G-E, not P-A-I-G-E. It's not a gangbang.
Squirt, squirt.
Not on your face.
Page wins. Havoc takes the fall. 21-minute match. 12 near falls. MJF promo 5 minutes.
How many near falls?
21?
12.
Okay. And how many minutes for the MJF promo time?
5.
5. All right. Now, Joe's picks.
Phone keeps locking on me. He's got Page winning, MJF taking a fall, 7 near falls, 2-minute promo from MJF.
What?
That's a MJF.
I have MJF winning. Havoc taking the fall, 8 near falls, and 0 minutes promo time.
I have Page winning over Havoc with 10 near falls and 2-minute promo time.
All right. Nick?
I've got Lynchman winning. MJF taking the fall, 10 near falls, and 2-minute promo.
All right.
Isn't that Page's dad, Lynchman book?
I think so. To Wikipedia that.
Up next, Cody with Brandy Rhodes versus Darby Allin. Who is the winner? How many near falls? Aerials plus or minus 1. Trash can coffin drop? Yes or no? And will there be outside interference? Joe's leading this one off.
In your safe face, Cody winning by pin, 4 near falls, 7 aerials, yes to a trash can coffin drop, and no to outside interference. Sorry, Joe. That was not a smart.
I have Darby Allin winning by pinfall, 4 near falls, 6 aerials, yes to the trash can coffin drop, yes to the outside interference. Z.
Cody winning by pinfall, 5 near falls, 6 aerials, yes to a trash can coffin drop, and yes to outside interference.
Smitty.
I also have Cody winning by pinfall, 8 near falls, 6 aerial moves, yes to a trash can coffin drop, and yes to outside interference.
All right, Nick.
What is a cash tran? What's a trash can coffin drop?
Something that's on the card.
Okay. Well, Cody's going to win by pin, 9 near falls, 7 aerial moves, yes to the cash. I did it again. Trash can, coffin drop.
Cash can.
No.
Cash tran.
No. You know what? I'm changing yes outside interference. Didn't think that through.
I don't even like.
You're looking for the trash can coffin drop.
Yeah, I'm like, there's no video of it. There's no.
We all know it's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't fucking know. We all think it's yes.
Yep.
So, Last match, I'm going to kick this one off. Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, the Elite, versus Lucha Bros and Laredo Kid in the spot where Pac was supposed to be. Who is the winner? Who makes the fall? Who takes the fall? How many super kicks will there be? Plus or minus one. And match time, plus or minus one.
That's not even fucking cool.
What?
I typed in trash can coffin drop, and the very first article that comes up is sidewalk casket with baby organs dumped by funeral home workers.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it is.
Man.
It is.
Well, no, that won't be happening.
Finally, a trash can on wheels that automatically catches your. Okay. I have the Elite going over with Omega making the fall, Laredo taking the fall. 8 super kicks, 19-minute match time.
I have the Omega Bucks.
Omega Bucks?
Like the Mega Bucks, just the Omega Bucks.
But less.
I have Ken making the fall. I have Laredo Kid taking the fall. 10 super kicks and a 30-minute match time.
Yeah. I've got the Elite winning, Kenny Omega making a fall, Laredo Kid taking a fall, 13 super kicks, 28-minute match time.
All right. Joe has?
And Joe just locked on me. He has the Lucha Bros winning.
Lucha Bros.
Pentagon pinning Matt Jackson. 11 super kicks, 24-minute match time.
All right. Nick.
Got the Elite. Kenny Omega is going to make the pin. He's going to pin Pentagon. 12 super kicks in a 22-minute match.
All right. Up next are the unscheduled appearances. 3 points per. You get 5 to pick. Z, you're kicking this one off.
Dark Order, Pac, and Sean Spears.
That's 4.
Dark Order's like...
That Dark Order was 2 people.
Yep.
Pac.
That's
Sean
3.
Spears.
That's 4.
Oh.
I didn't realize you were that bad at math.
Math is hard.
I like how you added it up to me still.
Who is Brandy facing at Fight for the Fallen?
Oh, I don't fucking remember.
Probably Kylie Ray, if anybody.
Well, that's who I want. Insert Brandy's opponent here is what I'm writing.
You're gonna make me look this up.
Yeah. As he looks that up, can I just read off Joe's?
Yep. You can read up yours actually first.
Okay. I already know he's going to change some things when I read mine off.
He's taking on Alley Cat.
Alley. So, okay. That's what makes up Kylie Ray and Alley.
So you're picking Alley for your 5th one, Z?
Allie? Is that what it is? Yep. Allie.
Fiance. She gonna be there.
So I have Orange Cassidy, Luchasaurus, Pharaoh, which is Cody and Brandy's dog, Dustin Rhodes, and Sean Spears.
All right. And who's Joe have?
Joe has, hold on, small here. Brandon Cutler, Sean Spears, Bea Presley, Allie, and Peter Avalon.
All right. I have Kylie Ray, Leva Bates, Peter Avalon, Jericho, and I'll put in Sean Spears.
Good one. I actually take off Spears, but Jericho.
Yep, taking out Pac, putting in Jericho. Good talk, Smitty. That's still 5, right? I'm bad at math.
I've got Kylie Ray, Dark Order, Luchasaurus, and Sean Spears.
Oh, that's a good one.
I said Luchasaurus first.
But I had him written down first.
Yeah, but I wasn't listening to you. I'm actually taking off the perfect 10 and putting in Luchasaurus.
Whatever. You crossed out Hangman.
So again, my 5 are Kylie Ray, Leva Bates, Luchasaurus, Peter Avalon, and Jericho. Actually, no, I'm gonna. God damn it!
I got a blank one over here. If you want to start over, A couple.
No. I'm going to keep Sean Spears and remove Peter Avalon.
Oh.
What?
Nothing.
Oh.
I was gonna put Orange Cassidy on there, but
That's what I was telling about.
there's
earlier.
not like a battle royal or anything.
Yeah, there's
so-
nothing. Yeah, it's
You
very...
can do something gimmicky. You just come out and do his.
He's not even
gimmicks
signed.
That was a one-off.
You still do something.
Yeah. All right, we're done.
He's Indy.
All right, bye guys. See ya.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate it. Thank you to all of our watchers, all of our listeners, all of our beautiful people, the beautiful people, the beautiful people,
Velvet Sky.
the beautiful people, the beautiful people.
Velvet Sky, Angelina Love.
We love you so much for listening. I do want to take this time real quick to say we found out today that in our numbers that over the last 11 months since we've had our 100th episode, for the 100th episode, we were at some pretty good numbers. But in 11 months since, we have upped all of our numbers around 65%. That means subscribers, downloads per week, weekly listens, all of that stuff. So thank you so much to our subscribers, our listeners, our viewers, all of that. If you are listening, if you are subscribed, please go to Apple Podcasts or whatever you listen to your podcast and rate us. 5 stars, 4 stars. We prefer 5. We think we're that good. I mean, if you're subscribed, you obviously think we're that good too. So thank you so much to all of you. And we are your ring crew.
The whole fucking Z.
Friendly neighborhood Ricochet.
Smitty, baby.
Mike.